latest around the wide world of tropics. From the weather bulletin for July 2nd. Well, those hoping for some early July activity are in for disappointment with no storms active still. So we're stuck at 31 total storms for this year so far as we enter day 184 of this year. In the Atlantic, day 32, and we've got two areas marked still, 10% on both of them at the latest update. Still remains to be seen whether anything will come out of these two systems towards the end of the week into next week. Day 49 in the Eastern Pacific, the remnants of 4 East still active, and a 40% chance that we've now issued for an area of interest further towards the east. National Hurricane Center going with 30%. The West Pacific, no signs of life still. It is like the surface of another planet. No storms are active and nothing at all expected. In the Indian Ocean, also a alien area in terms of storm activity. Nothing going on here at all, although that's a little bit more expected this time of year in this basin. Looking at the satellite imagery for the North Atlantic right now, you can see that moisture is really taking over again now. The dry air and the Saharan dust fading quite a bit more than what it was last week. That 10% area that you can see up there off the South Carolina coast, that's for late on in the 5-day forecast period. Towards day 4, day 5 is probably when we'll see that system emerging off the coast. Latest indications show it's going to be rather weak though. The Eastern Pacific, that 40% area of interest, models suggesting that could become a moderate tropical storm perhaps. GFS hinting that maybe it could be a high-end tropical storm. Behind that, long-range models suggesting that there could be 1 or 2 significant hurricanes on the way, which wouldn't be surprising in the Eastern Pacific, but at least if you look at the GFS's track record, it said that last week, and all we got was Boris. In the Western Pacific is what it looks like right now, looking again fairly quiet still, dominated by that frontal pattern further north there. It's moving across the southern Japanese islands now, and still you're getting quite a lot of showers in southwestern China, which have been adversely affected by torrential rains and flooding problems which have killed around 100 people. The southern hemisphere, this is the South Pacific, another line of thunderstorms extending from Papua New Guinea all the way to Fiji really, and in the Indian Ocean still got that monsoonal pattern mainly over the Arabian Sea, but quite a bit over the Bay of Bengal as well, and little bits over the actual peninsula of India itself. Sea surface temperatures are around the same as they were yesterday, but you can continue to see the 30 degrees Celsius areas expanding in the Atlantic, particularly off the western coast of Florida there. Gulf Stream looking healthy as well now. We were looking at it last month and thinking it was a little bit below average, but it's really caught up in the last 30 days. In the North Indian Ocean, things fairly warm here as well. 30 degrees generally all around all the coastal areas. And same too for the Western Pacific, 30 degrees Celsius, quite easy to come by. A little bit cooler in the area between Guam and the eastern coast of the Philippines, but still very warm in general. Above average across most of the Western Pacific and Indian Ocean. The Eastern Pacific below average in some areas. 1 or 2 key parts of the tropics above average though there, with the La Nina still quite easily visible and possibly intensifying still. So on July 2nd, 1911, 109 years ago, a typhoon was starting to move away from the Philippines over the South China Sea, only a Category 1. There's a pressure chart from when it was moving over the Philippines. What's really notable about this storm is that at the time it was the wettest cyclone on record, and it would remain, even to this day, the second wettest typhoon in Western Pacific history, delivering 2.2 meters of rain over the northern part of the Philippines. That record was broken by Carla in 1967. So the next name back in 2020 on the naming list in the Atlantic is Edouard, followed by Faye. In the Eastern Pacific, Christina is next up, followed by Douglas. In the Central Pacific, the next name on list 1 is Hone. In the Western Pacific, Sinlaku will be next up on the naming list there, followed by Hagupit. In the North Indian Ocean, Gatti is next on the brand new list 1.
How does that explain that? I know this.
Now looking at the Southern Hemisphere, in the Australian region, the next name is Imogen, followed by Joshua. In the Southwest Indian Ocean, there's the new naming list. Alicia will be the first name, followed by Bongoyo. And in the Southern Pacific, it's Yolanda. That's all for now. Check out our new look cyclone tracker on the Force 13 website for the latest up-to-date information. You can also find us, of course, on our YouTube channel, search Force 13, and also on Facebook and Twitter, Force 13 at Force 13 on Twitter for the latest updates. You can also help the project become even better by becoming an Ultimate Fan on YouTube. To see the full list of Ultimate Fan benefits and to join, visit youtube.com/Force13/join. With a special thanks to our top supporters this month. You can also check out our growing merch store so you can show Force 13's colors wherever you go. You can also find a link to our Discord server underneath this video in the description.